What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to give you an overview of what is happening with Lucid, go over some of the data points, what shorts are doing, everything else that you need to know. But I also wanted to talk on briefly something that might be coming down the pipeline in the foreseeable future that would add a lot of liquidity for Lucid. So once again, I'm going to go over all that. Make sure you guys first hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So currently it is down roughly about 1%. A lot of volatility. So 625 is the low, 645 is the high, and the high is basically a very strong resistance. So I'm going to touch on that when I go over the technicals. A little bit lower for volume today, so 20.72 million shares being traded versus 40.46 million is the average, and we are actually in power hour as of right now. So once again, it's just for the most part been following the broader market because there's been absolutely nothing coming out from the company, so no press releases, no SEC filings. So once again, let me know your guys' thoughts on that. I'm going to go over all the data points starting off with options activity. So today there's a grand total of $797,000 in calls being purchased versus 7.67 million in puts. So based on this, people clearly are anticipating for Lucid to continue to trend down a little bit. If you are bullish though and want to look at a lot of the call options, it is anticipated to go between the 650 to 750 range as far as the end of next week. But when it comes down to these options activity, it's just merely a sentiment. It doesn't move the stock price, as I always say. But especially with the lower volume today, looking on the secondary market, it just shows that institutions are clearly taking a very notable step back and not necessarily buying, which is kind of weird. Maybe they are anticipating a further pullback. So again, I'm just bringing up a lot of information. You guys digest that how you see fit because I'm not a financial advisor. But like I said, in comparison to previous other days, this is very, very quiet. So let me know you guys' thoughts. As far as dark pool, that dark pool is very popular, and dark pool is very much linked to shorting, and some people don't like that. So a lot of activity on the dark pool, and even in general, almost 51% of the daily volume today is being done off the exchange, aka the dark pool. So once again, a lot of just messed up stuff, a lot of manipulation happening behind the scenes, which in reality could be seen as being suppressed and stuff like that. And speaking on suppression, I'll go over shorts. So as of right now, shorts are actually increasing 3.42 million shares. 23.92% of the free float is being shorted. 198 million shares overall are being shorted, and cost to borrow average is kind of penny, so 1.56%. So once again, analyzing this information, the fact that they are increasing this amount on a red day clearly goes to show that they are anticipating a further downtrend to occur. So once again, you kind of just compile all this information. You guys do your own due diligence. As far as the technicals, so just zooming out a little bit more, so looking at this viewpoint. So we are lower percentile of the Bollinger Band and below the 50-day moving average. And like I've said in the past, that 50-day moving average is a very key point for Lucid. So of course, the technicals are looking a little bit poor. Looking at the momentum indicator shows number of retail investors surprisingly are getting in. So big money is clearly taking a step back. Big money is getting in. And stochastic is currently at 28. A little bit more of a bearish sentiment is forming right now. So red line above the black, unfortunately. But as far as the next points to really watch for, with it being at $6.37, it is right below this S2. So currently trading between this S3 and the S2. And like I've indicated in the past, the spread on a lot of these is very wide. So there's going to be a lot of volatility. So you just have to be comfortable with that. But $5.76 is that next very strong support. And $6.43, which it kind of did bounce off of today, is that next big resistance. I do feel that based on the Q2 earnings that Q3 and onwards will be very, very good. So of course, it's just everything I've been mentioning is just short-term stuff. If you are investing long-term, don't necessarily worry so much about the finite details, whether you buy in at 637 or potentially even lower, because years from now, when it is back at double digits, people aren't necessarily going to worry so much about that. So again, this is just a lot of short-term stuff, but if you are actually trying to catch the bottom, I think this is why a lot of the indicators right now are all pointing to it being a little bit negative, because people do anticipate it to possibly touch this 576 range. But once again, let me know you guys' thoughts on all of that in the comments below. As well, what is your viewpoint potentially on the options activity today? But over and above all of this, just to give you some additional information, as of right now, looks like the latest Morningstar report does have the fair market value being $8.90. I've already covered this, I believe, because this was updated last Friday, if I remember correctly. No recent analyst ratings, so the last being 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗧𝗧. That was a downgrade, $5 target, like I already mentioned. So all of this is just more of a regurgitation of previous updates, so in case you guys are aware. But of course, getting right to it though, like I said at the very beginning, there is something that potentially might be coming out that could dramatically help Lucid, and for the most part make it, I guess, very safe for the balance sheet and for at least the liquidity aspect, and that is this. So it's been a while since we've heard this, so I think this was a very common thing that was being brought up near the tail end of 2022, and that is Lucid not necessarily transferring, but Lucid also being listed on the whole Saudi stock market, because of course by them doing that, that would add an immense amount of liquidity for Lucid. And of course, if you kind of look at a lot of the other articles that are floating around, it does look like there's a lot of companies awaiting to go public on the Saudi market. As of right now, looking on their website, it doesn't necessarily show anything to kind of indicate that Lucid is going there, but I do feel that with the PIF increasing their position significantly over the last little bit, this is the realistic next step. And if I was to give a prediction based on all of that, of course based on the last Q2 earnings, I believe Sherry did say that they have enough liquidity up until 2025. And when it comes down to companies preparing for liquidity in case they need it, it's better to be more prepared. So of course, if there is going to be dilution, it'd probably be in Q2 of 2024. So in my opinion, I do feel that if this was ever to be listed on the Saudi stock market or exchange, that is where it most likely will be done in either Q1 or Q2 in advance. That way it would add a lot of liquidity for Lucid for the bottom line. And again, that's something that very few stocks actually do. But those that actually are on multiple different exchanges are able to kind of not be so stressed out all the time, because a lot of companies, especially with the higher interest rate environment, well, you kind of see it, right? Technically, even right now, there's a lot of growth stocks getting completely hammered because a lot of fear in the market still about Powell potentially raising the rates and many other things as well. But definitely the interest rate factor is kind of hitting a lot of these growth stocks, including Lucid, that is going to be heavily reliant on debt. So of course, if you kind of eliminate that fear, Lucid will do a lot better and fare a lot better. But that's just my own opinion, not financial advisor, of course. So let me know you guys' thoughts on this in the comments below. And if this was ever to occur, when do you think that it will be done? So let me know you guys' thoughts. Plus, give yourself a shout out if you have been buying, selling, or holding over the last several days. And where do you guys see things going? I did buy in, like I already said on my last update, around 650, actually 650 on the exact mark. But generally, I think the next time I would buy would probably be at that 550 mark, similar to what I did last time. So once again, let me know you guys' thoughts on all of this in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. But one final thing I just want to share with you, even though Lucid is going up, down, sideways, all over the place, take advantage of free promos, and that is with Moomoo. Link in the description below and also the comments. Completely free to sign up, but if you do throw $100 at the account, you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000, and you also get a $50 cash reward. So this in among itself is one of the best deals. Unfortunately, it is only available for Americans, but if you are Canadian, they are kind of doing a soft launch, so you can have access to their app and so forth. So you can sign up only using a phone number, so you don't need any other additional information. And if you are a Canadian, you can sign up for, I guess, a chance to win one of these gift cards or several gift cards, Amazon, Tim's, and various things like that. Link in the description below and also the comments. With that said, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's make a ton of money on Lucid.